Hello and welcome everyone to the In Focus series of Drishti IAS English. I am Pragya with you today. So in this fruitful session of In Focus, we are going to study about another significant topic. As you all are aware, the Lok Sabha elections are just round the corner. And again, we will be dealing with the menace of fake news and disinformation. So our question today is, which we are trying to answer, that why fact checking matters in these times. Okay, so in this discussion we are firstly going to study about what is fake news. Then we are also going to ponder upon, is fake news a recent phenomenon or has the fake news its roots in the history? Then we are also going to understand what is misinformation and disinformation. Then we are also going to ponder upon what is fact checking, what is the importance of fact checking. Then lastly, we are going to understand a practice question for your prelims examination and a practice question for your mains examination. So if I talk about the background of our today's topic, International Fact Checking Day. International Fact Checking Day is observed every year on April 2nd, and this International Fact Checking Day is celebrated since the year 2016 by IFCN. IFCN, or the International Fact Checking Network. The role behind the celebration of this day is to realize the importance of accurate information in this today's interconnected world. This International Fact Checking Day makes the people realize the importance of an accurate information. This brings us to the moot point of our today's discussion, that what do we exactly understand by this term fake news? So if I simply put it, fake news means a news which is simply untrue and unverified. If you talk about the definition of this term fake news, so the University of Michigan Library has defined fake news as false news stories, meaning the story itself is fabricated and has no verifiable fact, sources or quotes. So if I put it very simply, fake news is of two types: propaganda and clickbait. Propaganda, we all understand that yes, it is a creation of a false narrative around a topic, so that that topic could be portrayed as the truth, and this is propaganda. And what is clickbait? Clickbait is using of sensational news by the websites as well as the news channels, so that they can gain traction on their news channels, they can gain traction on their YouTube channels, websites, etc. So yes, this is the fake news types. Okay, and if you understand the fake news, it is categorized into traditional misinformation, second, generative AI, and third, deepfakes. We have recently heard about the controversy of the actress Rashmika Mandanna's deepfake video. So it makes the image as if it is a real image, and it is largely being misused. Okay, so just imagine the power of deepfakes when the elections are just round the corner. Just imagine the power of generative AI in forming pictures as real as the original one. Okay, it can also be used for making false kind of videos. So the Cambridge Dictionary defines fake news as false story that appear to be news spread on the internet or using other media, usually created to influence political views or even as a joke. So simply put, fake news is a news that is unverified and untrue in nature. Moving forward, let us examine that is fake news a recent phenomenon or has the fake news its roots in the history? So if you talk about the history, the term yellow journalism was very famous in the year 1890s in the United States of America. So there were two rival newspapers, okay. One was Joseph Pulitzer and other was William Hart's. So these newspapers used to compete with each other for audience, and what they used to do, they used to publish fake reports. They used to publish unverified facts as true facts, okay, and there was a competition that was going on between these two newspapers, and this reporting of fake news, false news, unverified facts as real is the meaning of this term yellow journalism. So this term yellow journalism was derived from a popular cartoon character called the Yellow Boy, which appeared in the Pulitzer paper. Bidding amongst the newspaper over its rights became symbolic of their larger quest for dominance, and hence you can see that yes, fake news is nothing new. It has its roots in the history of United States of America in the year 1890s in the form of yellow journalism. Moving forward, during its heyday in the late 19th century, this term, that is yellow journalism, was one of the many factors that helped push the United States and Spain into war in Cuba and the Philippines. So what did they do? They glorified the Cuban struggle. Cuban struggle for independence from Spain. They started publishing false news such as the Spain people were doing atrocities over the revolutionaries. They started publishing sensational news around this, and hence United States were forced into the war with Spain and Philippines during the Cuban struggle for independence. If you talk about a recent case, in October 2017, then US President Donald Trump claimed that he has coined the term fake news. Again, another false information. This term fake news was popularized by him, but definitely it has its roots in the history of the 1890s in the form of yellow journalism. So it is nothing new. It used to exist in the history as well. Moving forward, let us understand what is misinformation and disinformation. So misinformation is false information, but it is spread without an intention by the person who shares it online, believes it to be true and shares it without any ill intention or personal agenda. Okay, so there is no ill will, there is no malefied involved in sharing of misinformation. All the WhatsApp University forwards shared by our parents fall into the category of misinformation. Now, what exactly is disinformation? Disinformation is false information, and the person who is disseminating it knows that it is a false news. That means you are spreading the information knowing that it is false. Okay, you have a malefied intent behind it. Okay, and why is the misinformation rising as of now? So the first reason behind is ease of access of media communication. We all are aware how easy it is for the average person in India to own a smartphone. Okay, very easy. They are giving it on finance options as well. You can pay the price in EMIs also. So yes, there is a ease of owning a smartphone. There is an ease of access to Facebook, Instagram, X, etc. All the social media platforms are very easy to use. They have a very user-friendly approach that is easy to understand. Then cheap data plans. Internet has become almost free, okay, because we used to pay a huge amount in my college days for recharging the data pack. Now it is not the case. You have very cheap data plans. So on one hand, it is very important to for educational purposes, for keeping yourself updated. On the second hand, it is spreading misinformation of every kind. Then there is lack of digital literacy. According to a report, only 38% of the Indian households have a digital literacy. What is this lack of digital literacy? It means that you are forwarding something without verifying the original fact. Okay, so this is the lack of digital literacy, and sometimes it relates to huge problems. Okay, it creates huge problem. But we do not have the digital literacy, especially in the rural areas of India. And if you talk about misinformation, they are on the rise in the regional languages. In India, because they skip the fact-checking parts of the Hindi and the mainstream English media, okay? They're not able to verify those things. And that is why it is spreading like fire in regional languages. And definitely, this is something we need to pay attention in our general elections this year. Moving forward, let us examine what is fact checking. So simply put, fact checking means verifying the information which you are sharing. Okay, you are verifying the fact whether it is true or whether it is false. This is simply termed as fact checking. Okay, it means that one has verified the facts they are asserting, say by checking the facts and figures one sees on social media before sharing it, and it is very akin to the idiom that get your facts straight. So simply put, it means that you are verifying the information which you are sharing on your social media platforms. Moving forward, let us examine why is fact checking important. So false and misleading information can definitely lead to polarization or shifting of people's views towards more extreme ideas, often along religious or ethnic lines. Polarization is a huge problem for any country, especially at the time of the elections. So yes, this false information and misinformation can lead to polarization, and that is why it is important to verify all of your facts. Then mislead people on important issue, trigger riots in extreme cases, and add fuel to fire in violent situations. In fact, it can also lead to increase in the stereotypes against a particular community. Generative AI and deepfakes are used to create hatred amongst various religious communities, and that is why it is very important for you to analyze and examine that yes, what information is true. So how can you exercise this fact checking exercise? Firstly, check the fact online, okay? Verify it from various outlets. Then verify the image as well, and prohibit yourself from sharing any kind of false information. You can verify the false information on the fact checking websites. So with this, we come to a conclusion of our today's discussion. We have seen what is fake news. We have also understood that why fact checking matters as of now, because the Lok Sabha elections are just around the corner, and definitely there is going to be a misinformation spread traditionally. Then there is generative AI images, videos, deepfakes, etc. And definitely it is a huge menace we have to tackle. Then we have also understood that how you can stop the rise of misinformation and disinformation. You can verify your facts, you can check the images online, you can use the fact checking websites, as well as you can verify the facts from various sources, so as to stop yourself from sharing any kind of false information. Now let us discuss a practice question for your prelims examination. So the question is, International Fact Checking Day is celebrated on, your option A is 1st April, your option B is 3rd April, your option C is 2nd April, and your option D is none of the above. So kindly drop your answers in the comment box below. Now let us discuss a practice question for your mains examination. So the question is, discuss the impact of fake news in influencing elections. So in the introduction, you will write what is fake news, then you will write why fact checking matters, then you will write about how is fake news impacting the general elections, because it changes the ideas of the people, it increases radicalism, okay, it shifts the focus of people on just one thing, okay. If the false news is about one political party, definitely that political party will suffer if it fails to provide the original source, okay, original news, okay. So definitely it leads to shifts in the stances, and definitely it increases polarization among the voters, and that is why it is very essential to curb the false news. And you can conclude very holistically that yes, the government can bring in legislations. Currently we have the IT rules which are still not enforced. Currently we also have the DPDP bill or the act which talks about curbing of misinformation and false news, but it has not been implemented as of now. So yes, what can the government do? It can implement the IT rules, it can notify the newly added IT rules, it can implement the DPDP Act strictly, or it can also implement the existing legal provisions we have in our various laws for stopping the use of false news or fake news, and it can also create public awareness about the fake news. So this is how you can conclude your answers. I hope this session was insightful for you. If any feedback regarding this session, kindly drop it in the comment box below. If you liked today's discussion and found it to be helpful, kindly like the video and subscribe to our channel for more such interesting updates. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.